Pleo. Welcome to Project Ventive. In our today's video, we are going to talk about the Pleo. Before the video starts, like and share this video. Also subscribe to our YouTube channel Project Ventive for more updates. If you walk the floor of the robotics section of the massive consumer electronics trade show that is taking place in this city this week, you will see Pleo, who is as charming and lifelike as ever, and green, warming the hearts of the countless people walking by who had never seen it before. Now, though, here's the catch. After causing quite a stir when it was first released in 2007 and 2008 by its manufacturer, Ugobe, Pleo was quickly forgotten about as a result of the terrible economy and Ugobe's inability to establish itself as a successful company. Therefore, what is the lovely dinosaur that is now also available with pink or blue skin? So not only is it impossible to cute, but it is also impossible to afford. But what about Pleo? Is it any good? It all depends on who you intend to give it to, what you anticipate receiving in return, and how significant a sum of money $250 is to you. Therefore, neither yes nor no can be answered unequivocally. Let's start with the good. The lifelike behavior it exhibits is, in fact, very lifelike. Pleo can react just as quickly as a real, young dinosaur thanks to the response time of the sensors and processors that are included within it. When petting Pleo, it is helpful to be aware of where the sensors are located, particularly if you are showing him or her off to your friends. Please don't overlook the fact that Pleo's feet also have sensors on them. These prevent Pleo from walking off tabletop surfaces, but they also mean that Pleo will become a little anxious if you lift him or her off the ground entirely. This indicates that you're going to have to pet it more often. In addition, the firmware of Pleo may be upgraded, which means that in the future, you will be able to put new personalities and behaviors onto it, by SD or USB, from Ugobe. This might be really cool or pretty dangerous, depending on your point of view. Pleo does not place a high priority on walking, which is a drawback. You can get it to walk if you wait long enough, but it won't go very far and it won't move very quickly, so it's not much of a virtual pet in that aspect. Get the far more affordable, and, debatably, just as attractive, Goopy if you want to move quickly around the house. There is also the minor issue of gear noise, commonly known as whirring, which detracts from the overall sense of realism unless some method is used to tune it out. Nevertheless, it isn't so loud, and you will most likely be louder with your exhortations to Pleo, come on, girl, there, etc. It is clear that Pleo is appealing to a very wide range of people, yet, children and adults will experience various levels of behavior and happiness from using it. However, you cannot deny the fact that it is the pioneer of a whole new era of artificial intelligence-based robotic pets. In addition to this, Pleo overcomes the limitations of AI by convincing you, beyond a reasonable doubt, that this toy possesses emotions and a character of its own. The cost is approximately £200. Now, you can either think of this as a very pricey toy or as an inexpensive way to satisfy your child's desire for a pet without the cost of a can of cat food each day, vet bills, and the responsibility of caring for your pet long after your child has moved on to other delights. One way to look at it is as an expensive toy, the other as an inexpensive way to satisfy your child's desire for a pet. You may get an idea of what Pleo looks like by looking at the photographs. He is a cute little dinosaur. What you don't get a feel for is the physical texture of his flesh, which can be described as somewhat rubbery at times. This piece of electronic wizardry has immediately fooled both our children and their friends, who are also our children's age. The Pleo is essentially a highly complex robotic toy, and individuals who have an interest in technology may find it appealing. The program that is managing the little fellow receives information regarding motion, vision, and touch sensory input from an array of sensors. This information is processed by 2 microprocessors with 32 bits of memory and 4 microcontrollers with 8 bits of memory. Motion is generated by a total of 14 individual motors that are distributed across the body, legs, head, mouth, and tail. The presence of so many motors does lend the Pleo a highly whirring and mechanical sound, but, if the engineers could develop silent motors, the life-like qualities of the robot would be improved substantially. All of this technology does, of course, require power, and you can't just put Pleo in front of a bowl of cat chow like it's a bowl of food for a cat. because its creators were so considerate. The Pleo ships with not one but two high-capacity battery packs as well as a charger. This gives you the ability to always have one battery pack charging while you use the other to power your Pleo. Your Pleo will require proper care and attention to mature like any other pet. The very first time you turn it on, it will go through a phase known as its birth phase, which typically lasts for about 10 minutes. During the time that it takes him to become used to his new surroundings, he will move slowly. He enjoys having his fur stroked, which helps him go toward the hatching stage of his development. During this period, he will begin to crawl, want to be fed, and sleep whenever he is exhausted. Your Pleo will enter the juvenile stage after having spent 45 minutes in this stage, and he will remain in this state for the remainder of his life. Apparently, Pleos do not mature into adulthood. Touch, sight, and sound are all a part of Pleo's sensory repertoire, just as you'd expect from an active pet, or, more accurately, one made of rubber and metal. The taste and scent are gone. The user guide is written in an easy-to-read format and explains all you need to know about your new pet, including his likes, dislikes, requirements, and wants. Your Pleo has the potential to develop beyond its initial capabilities. It is possible to update it over the internet, just like any other piece of modern technology. Even though the Pleo includes a slot for an SD card and a USB connection, it is not possible to simply download data to the card. This is something that would have been a welcome feature. Instead, you are going to require a dedicated SD card reader. Because we did not have one readily available, this was the first obstacle that we encountered, which resulted in a short delay. This seems like an unusual omission in an otherwise well-thought-out device, because it would have made our lives so much simpler if the Pleo had been able to accomplish this for us. The updating of the Pleo's firmware, often known as its Life OS, was our very first online procedure. This is one way in which Pleo differs from real life. Even though I might need a Life OS upgrade myself, I am not granted access to this skill. The Life OS version 1.1 software can be found on the Pleo World website. Because there does not seem to be any clear way to determine which version of Pleo you are using, we reason that this would be a decent first step to take. After registering and providing a significant amount of personal information, we downloaded the software and completed the upgrade procedure. I believe that our small Pleo has already been upgraded, considering how rapidly this occurred in comparison to reading the instructions. You also have the option of downloading a variety of different personas. Again, you may get these from the Pleo World website, copy them to an SD card that you have previously formatted, then insert the card into your Pleo and turn it on. I experimented a little bit with the holiday personality because, well, Christmas is soon here. Following the successful installation of the new personality, our Pleo began humming a variety of Christmas carols, such as Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and Jingle Bells. Very amusing. It could be amusing to install the seasonal personality on Pleo before you put it beneath the Christmas tree if that's where you're planning on putting it. Even though the Pleo brochure states that the USB cable is necessary only for installing software updates, as far as I can tell, it is not utilized in any consumer-facing capacity whatsoever. My best assumption is that the USB is utilized for debugging given the variety of available development tools. For people who are into social networking, a piece of high-tech hardware wouldn't be worth its salt unless it came with its very own community. In this particular instance, it is a blogging tool, a Pleo blog, of course. Over 20,000 people have signed up to be a part of the Pleo community, but it is unclear how many of them have contributed anything to the platform. On our very own Pleo blog, clicking on the link will open it in a new window. You'll be able to follow along as our Pleo explores the Gadget Speak offices. You'll see that we called our Pleo Beetlejuice. If you visit our blog, we'd like it if you'd leave a comment on there. The Pleo is a wonderful piece of play equipment. Since we have only had our test subject for a short while, he is still very much in the period of learning new things. It does, however, exhibit some very life-like traits, such as curling up into your arms when you cuddle it in, on one occasion, head-butting our pretty confused cat. It also exhibits some very life-like properties, such as snuggling up into your arms when you love it. Pleo is priced at approximately £200, which places it at the upper end of the price range for toys for the majority of people. However, for families who have a youngster who is insistent on wanting a dog, the Pleo could be a pleasant distraction. The fact that you get a lot of technology as well as a lot of fun for your money is something that is made abundantly clear when you compare the price of this toy to the price of some other toys. How did you like the video? Do you like it? Leave your valuable comments in the comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel Project Ventive on YouTube.